Alrighty, I just did a pretty big oopsie. I just recorded all of my footage for this game and follow-ups without setting up my audio capture, so the entire thing was completely without audio, and then I was just about to edit it, and then I was like, oh, fun, I get to redo this. But anyways, um, this game is going to be absolutely crazy. It's going to show off how powerful the Amagi can be when positioned correctly, and how excellent of a ship it really is just altogether. Now, I just had this game maybe about an hour ago, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind, and I've already done like 40 minutes or more talking about it that I was going to edit down, but yeah, let's just get started in this game. So it's a Tier 8 game with Tier 8 aircraft carriers all around, nothing too crazy, so let's just get into this. Starting off, I spawn on the east flank, which gives me a couple options here. I can go northeast, hang out right around here, maybe shoot down this alleyway, but I feel like that's a bit limiting to my potential in the Amagi, so I decide that I want to go more play of a mid position so I can hit both sides of the map, because especially at Tier 8 with Tier 6 and 7 ships, most people are going to be hanging around somewhere around here, maybe behind this island, over back there, and from this position somewhere in here, I can hit both of those key areas in my Amagi. One of the downsides, pretty much the only downside to the Amagi, is its standard gun range at 19.9. Kind of a little lacking at Tier 8, but it is certainly not uncomfortable. You get the spotter as well, that'll pop it up to I think 23.8 kilometers, which makes it so that you can hit ships that are just a little bit farther out, which is really nice. The spotter is a really, really, really nice thing to have on the Amagi. Now, looking at the way my team's setting up, it looks like the ships that spawn in the middle are probably going to play mid with me too here, which on this map mid is very, very powerful. So, starting to head over this way. I think 2 games before this one, I checked my stats in the Amagi. I had 118,000 damage, and I think I was around like 3,000 PR. And then I compared that to the top players on the North American server, and I am certainly within the top 10 in PR and average damage category. So right about now, I realize that if I keep focusing on that, I can potentially maybe secure that top 10 position on the leaderboards. So I kind of want to shoot that Fiji, because I know Fiji will eat AP really well at this range from me. Unfortunately, that Fiji keeps kind of blipping in and off of the radar, so I just say, screw it, I'm going to focus the flank that is weak right now. I'm going to help them out and get them into a position where they will be comfortable. I'll probably start off with this Ochikov, since he's the only one in my gun range at the moment. I'm expecting him to hard turn in here, which he does, but he kind of stops there at the last second, and I end up missing all those shots. But those would have been right on the money if he would have kept turning into those. Unfortunately, he started to go straight, and I missed, but that's completely fine. This game is still going to turn out to be an absolutely crazy game in the end, so I'm not even slightly mad about missing that salvo. It looks like that flank is pretty secured. All the enemy ships are going to be playing pretty passive. My team's going to be playing pretty passive, so nothing's really going to be going on over here. So I pop my spotter. That Byron's pretty much stationary. I aim for his nose since he's pretty much stopped. He might be starting to go forward. But at 21.2 kilometers here, it just shows how accurate the Amagi's guns can be. I have 10 rounds in the air, and 8 out of 10s connect with him there for 7,000 and almost 300 damage. absolutely absurd accuracy for a tier 8 battleship. Byron goes dark, so now I'm trying to find different targets. I'm still holding my central position. I can cover both flanks. I can shoot to where I want to. I can, you know, still control the map. I can hit everybody pretty much at this point in time. I keep on shooting. I want to keep shooting this Byron because the Byron has a weak nose, as that just shows. I was able to overmatch his nose armor, get a pen. I kind of overestimated how fast he was going, so I only got one shell hit, but still not bad for a 20-kilometer shot. I realize that that flank is kind of really dead now, so spot this enemy Farragut that pops up. Our Cleveland's shooting at him, our Olin's going to be shooting at him, and I figure I might as well chip in here and just get him off the map. The Cleveland shells hit first there, and he picks up the kill. I'm not mad about, you know, an enemy DD dead that would have been harassing me in the back lines is all fine by me. It doesn't matter who gets a kill. It'll make me more comfy in the end anyway. We have this enemy Amagi, or I'm sorry, New Mexico pushing up. I can also overmatch his armor, so that New Mexico and that Byron are really nice ships to shoot at in Amagi, just because you can overmatch all their armor, and pretty much no matter where your shells land, you're going to be doing damage to them, and it's going to be substantial damage. New Mexico's dark. I don't think I'm going to get shots at him at any point in time. So notice the shore's broadside behind that island. I take shots at him, and I'm going to hit him pretty hard there. I land 3 shells, I get a Citadel, and I hit him for 18,000, dropping him down to 3,000. That's going to make him want to push forward, get behind solid cover. And right here, I'm going to do something that not everybody knows about, and it's a really handy trick. So I'm going to make my mini-map a little bit larger here and kind of show off what I'm doing here. So that Duke of York is behind an island from me. I'm not able to see his ship or anything, so I don't have any way to gauge how far I should aim just from looking at this. What I use instead is I use the mini-map down here. I use this little circle. I place that over the top of the Duke of York's little position marker, and I aim using that, and you're going to see what happens very soon. I use that little marker on the mini map to aim for that new Duke of York. I know he's going backwards from the main screen, so I aim accordingly, and then I just use the mini map down below to gauge the distance. I'll make my mini map smaller again. Shells are in the air. They're a little wonky, but I still connect pretty good on him. I get a Citadel, which is nothing to slouch about, and then what do you know? Another enemy battleship is going to be flat broadside to me and stationary, so got the Synop here. He hasn't even noticed I'm here at the moment, and he's flat broadside at 14 kilometers, so I figured, you know, why not give him a good salvo, some AP, give him the good word. Get some pretty good dispersion in on him here. I get a Citadel and 4 pens for 25,000 damage, definitely a substantial hit to him. That's going to make him want to back off and kind of disconnect him from his team now. I have that Cleveland raining HE down on him. I have that Oland. And then right now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I can't see him, but I can still shoot using the mini-map. And I'm going to connect here with how many shots? The answer is 5 shots. I connect 5 shots without having him detected. And once he pops up, he's going to be extremely low for the rest of my team to finish him off. As I'm hunting damage right now, I don't really care about the kill, so I let my team go for that. And he got behind the island, so I can't really shoot at him either way. I noticed that the best target at the moment is this New Mexico, sailing pretty much broadside at, what's that, 17 kilometers? Can't quite tell, everything's overlapping. But yeah, 17.5 kilometers. I can overmatch anything if I connect, and I connect 5 shells for 12,000 damage. Very nice number, very nice number. I consider shooting at Synop just for the kill, but I eat 18,000 from that key. I don't think that was a Citadel, I think that was just a lot of pens there. Which, you know, that's fine. I'm still at pretty much full health. and we're 8 minutes into the game, so I figured I can tank that and be completely fine with it. I take another shot at this New York. Unfortunately, he turns out completely and I miss everything. But still, I'm having a great game already. We're 8 minutes in with 100,000 damage. It's a really fast-paced game for me here, even in just a mid position. I noticed that Fiji and the Kiev on the mini-map kind of southwest, so I kind of want to maybe start falling back to my team. But then that Duke of York there pops up within 12 kilometers, and I realize I can't turn back to my team quite yet until this Duke of York is dealt with. Otherwise, he could potentially end my game with a good, well-placed salvo of AP. So I kind of say, hey, I can't turn out yet. I'm going to nose back into you, just in case he does load up AP again. So me, this Cleveland, are shooting at this Duke of York with the help of the carrier as well. So he's not going to be alive for a whole lot longer. I shoot my front guns at him here, waiting for my rear guns to turn. I see that brings him down low enough to where I can kill him with my rear guns, so I start turning over to hit him with my rear guns. Connect one shell there, that's all it took, and I pick up my first kill on that enemy Duke of York. However, that still doesn't leave me in the clear because there's an enemy Fiji and an enemy Kiev, both very close and gunning for me. That Kiev is butt pop smoke, so I shoot my front guns, which are the only ones loaded. He's going to go dark, so I just say, hey, Kiev is going to be the bigger threat. He's got torpedoes. Let's shoot my rear guns at him. I hit 2 on both the Fiji and the Kiev. That Kiev, I guarantee, isn't going to be feeling too comfortable after that. He's probably got to be, he's got to be pretty low. So I just run away. Maybe try to find a different target to shoot at for the time being. But now that Key is going to be out of range by the time my shells get there, so I say no, not worth it. I just try to focus on staying alive here, just tanking damage. Both these, the Fiji and the Kiev here, are blind firing me using the little explosions, the impacts on my ship to kind of trail where I am. So I'm just trying to kind of change my course, change speed, go faster, go slower. Just trying to throw off their aim there. So now I notice the carrier is going to help me out spot, so I aim my guns that way. Fiji, of course, pops up, so I aim for him, release a salvo, he goes dark, and now it's just a waiting game until the carrier can help me spot them again. I have that Oland over here now helping me too, which is going to be really nice. Don't really do much with that Fiji in that first salvo, but you know, I still have plenty of health. And I also pick up the Confederate there. Right now I kind of want that Olin to help me out here, so I request help in chat. There we go, the carrier says yes, I'll help you, so I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. I connect 2 more shells on the Fiji for damage. However, that Fiji still has more health than I'd like him to, and there that Kiev also pops up. He's only got 1,000 health left. I figure the Olin can finish him off as long as I kind of pointed out to him. I don't know how much he's paying attention to the game, but that Oland is able to realize what I'm saying. He does pick up that kill, and immediately after I get a double Citadel in on that Fiji for a kill. I don't know why that didn't count as a dev strike, to be honest, but I think it probably should have. I've noticed that the game's kind of been buggy with that recently. It's been rewarding it when it shouldn't, and it hasn't been rewarding it when it should. I hope I hope Wargaming kind of looks into that sometime soon. Anyway, New Mexico pops up broadside, and I'm able to get my rear turrets up over that island, and I will connect with him with a Citadel and a Overpen, all for good damage, bringing him pretty low. Those Olin torps look pretty good on him, so I figured right now, instead of going to focus that key, I should finish off that New Mexico. And this is going to be an excellent shot here. New Mexico's dark. I can see where the torpedoes impacted his ship, so I shoot accordingly. There he pops up, a good little bit after I shot, and boom. My shots are perfectly accurate, and I take out that New Mexico. And now there's really only one ship left on the enemy team that I need to worry about at this moment. It's that key. And look at that, what do you know, he's another ship flat broadside to me. So I aim for him, and I didn't expect him to slow down that much in his turn, and I aimed a little high, so I only connected with one shell there, but, you know, it's not going to matter in the end. You guys will see why. Planes coming in. Right about now is when I realized that, hey, maybe pushing that key isn't the best idea. Key has torpedoes. A lot of people don't realize that straight off the bat, but you gotta watch out for battleships that have torpedoes. The Gneisenau, the Tirpitz, and the Key all have torpedoes, so I'm trying to stay out of his torpedo range and just riddle him with damage here from some big old 16-inch guns. The Key is still sailing broadside, but no matter what he's doing, we got him in a massive crossfire here. He could go and run away from me and still give broadside to that New Mexico. He's shit out of luck here, so I was low. I realized I could pick up the kill, so I shoot again. There's 10,000, and I'm able to pick up the kill with my front two guns. Like I said there's the Key torpedoes. I eat one, but you know, there's not a whole lot of time left in this game for the carrier to kill me, so I pop my heal, and I'm pretty much comfortable for the rest of the game. Carrier's coming for me. Kind of shows that the carrier is pretty close, so I'm set up and ready to shoot at this carrier once he pops up. Certainly, there he is. Once our Ognavoy spots him, we know where he is. I aim for him, release a salvo. I'm just trying to get past 200,000 damage this game and maybe possibly pick up that 5th kill for the Kraken. My shots look excellent here, as they certainly connected pretty good. They hit for 10,000, putting me just so closer to that 200,000 damage mark. I pop my spotter just so I can be a little bit more precise with my aiming. So I'm just really trying to headhunt this Kraken right now and that 200,000 damage. I shoot that next salvo. Parsifal's nice enough to just turn out just a little bit. Unfortunately, I shoot a little high, but I still connect with 7 out of 10 shells for big damage. And Parsifal's really low now and running to the edge of the map. Ognavoy's hunting him, so it's kind of a race between me and the Ognavoy at this point for who can kill him. I was going to be a little cheeky here, wait for that carrier to hit him, wait for the Ognavoy to chip him down a bit, but then I said just no, I'm going for damage. Damage is my main priority right now, so I release a salvo. He turns out from where I was originally aiming, but I will still connect with him on a couple shells, 2 shell hits, bring him down to 7,000 damage, down to 6,000 now with the Ognavoy, and now it's just a matter of finishing him off here with one last salvo. I see he's going to go border hump. I expect him to just go straight into that border, try to get skinny to that DD. However, he overturns from what I originally thought, and my shells go a little high there, but I'm able to get 2 in. I drop him down to 800 health, and this is when I realize, yeah, that's an Ognavoy kill. So, unfortunately, no crack in this game, but I'll run you down through my stats on the scorecard. Alright, so here we are looking at my scorecard. Had 225,000 average damage, almost 226, with 6 citadels, 79 shell hits, a couple aircraft shot down, 4 kills. We were 1 away from the Kraken. I had the opportunity to get a Kraken 3 different times there on that, the DD, the Kiev, the battleship, the Soviet battleship, I can't remember the name right now, I don't know why, and then the aircraft carrier there at the end, but wasn't able to get the Kraken sadly, but still 225,000 damage in a Amagi is crazy. 800,000 credits. I'm running some really good flags right now, just trying to regrind to the Yamato, and kind of pays off. 20,000 XP, ship XP, 15,000 free XP, and I get Confederate High Cal and a I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. I'm blanking right now, but I get a tanking medal. I don't know why I can't remember. It's like 3 in the morning right now, so that's probably why. Confederate high cal, yeah, whatever. Can't remember at the moment. Doesn't really matter, but did a lot of tanking, a lot of damage, and I'll show you just exactly how much damage I did. Alright, so here's my detailed report. Did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships where I did more than 30,000 damage to, which is crazy for a tier 8 battleship. That is some really good damage numbers. And was able to sink 4 ships here, all of which no kill steals. All the kills I did, I earned, and I earned them 10 times over. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Synap that I couldn't remember the ship name of earlier. Yeah. Let me pull up my team score. Just kind of show you how much base XP I had. Alright, so here we are at the team score menu. 4 kills, 2,683 base XP. Not quite 2,700. If I would have picked up that Kraken, I would guarantee that would have been 2,700 base XP, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that, and, well, I just get 2,683 base XP as a result. I don't blame that Ognivoy at all for trying to get that kill at the end. You know, he didn't have a kill, so he was the closest ship. I'm sure he felt like he deserved it. On top of that, my team played okay for the most part. I mean, I certainly did do quite a bit of the carrying when it came into the damage department, but I can't complain about this team. They did their job, and they were able to live long enough and do enough damage to make me be able to do what I did that game. Really appreciated that Lexington there for spotting that cruiser and the destroyer kind of in the mid to late game. He really helped me out. I don't think I would have been able to do that without his help. And yeah, that's that. I'll load up my port here, run you guys down my Amagi build and stuff like that. Okay, so here we are in port looking at my Amagi. I'll start by running down my build, and then I'll kind of discuss my opinions of the Amagi after that. I'll start with my equipment that I use. I use Main Armaments Mod 1 to keep your turrets in for longer. As a battleship, your biggest asset is your guns and your health, and if you don't have guns, you can't do damage, so having your guns operational is key. On top of that, damage control systems make you more tanky, reduce the amount of fires that are set on your ship. Very important, very nice to have. Probably the most important thing on Amagi, aiming system mod 1, 100%. The Amagi is stupid accurate for a tier 8 battleship, so having just that little extra buff to your dispersion goes a long way, especially when you're going to be shooting at ships past 18 kilometers long a lot of the time. I was able to hit the majority of my shells at long range engagements with the help of aiming systems mod 1 that game. Damage control systems mod 2. In Amagi, you're not really going to be in brawling situations too often where you're going to be getting set fire time and time again, so having fire extinguisher, the damage control system mod 2 is just nice to have in case you do miss position and get set on fire and get a permafire. Just reduces that permafire damage by 15%. It's nice to have in case you do kind of miss position. Concealment system mod 1 brings your detectability range down to 13.6 kilometers. It's really comfortable for a battleship, especially when you have guns this accurate at range. Makes it so you can run away from enemies, heal, and then push back and re-engage. I'll upload a video kind of highlighting that later on, kind of that playstyle where if you get burnt down early game, you just turn around, put your tail between your legs for a little bit, heal some damage, and then once you get into a comfortable position, re-engage and start helping out your team ASAP. For the modules, the way I did it is I did the range mod, because without it you only get 18.1, and that's just not enough for a tier 8 battleship. So range mod first, 100%. Hull second, and then propulsion maybe, I don't know. I think 29.5 knots is certainly good enough for a battleship at tier 8. It's fast enough to get you into positions. It's fast enough to get you away from the enemy if you need to. So having 31.5 kilometers top speed, just be a little more helpful, but it is certainly not necessary for this ship. That's my build on the ship. Let me run you down my commander. It is a generic battleship commander with priority target, MLG, adrenaline rush, concealment expert, superintendent, fire prevention, and then once I do get him up to 19 points, I am going to pick up basics of survivability. Now, having the build out of the way, I'm going to discuss what makes the Amagi such a powerful battleship at tier 8, and that is the guns. It has 5 twin turrets of 410mm guns, meaning you get 10 guns in a broadside, which is really good for a tier 8 battleship. That is 2 less than the Kansas. However, your reload is 30 seconds compared to the Kansas's 40 seconds. The DPM on the Amagi is so much higher than the Kansas, it's not even funny. On top of that, the Amagi is more accurate than the Kansas. It is more accurate than at least it feels more accurate than the North Carolina. I can't prove that with numbers, but it just feels better. Yeah, the North Carolina is certainly the most comparable ship to the Amagi, but the Amagi, with its turret setup, it has more guns in the rear, making it better at kiting, and it certainly is better at kiting than the North Carolina. Like I said earlier, I wanted to do a video on, I had the Amagi where I got reduced to low damage at the start of the game, but I was able to claw my way back into the fight by healing and kiting for the majority of that game. I'll might do that one next, I'm not sure, but yeah. On top of the guns, the Amagi gets amazing armor. 32mm of plating everywhere at tier 8. That's really, really nice. You're going to be eating a lot of HE damage, but if you're playing properly, you shouldn't have more than a couple people shooting at you at a time. And if you are having more than a couple people shooting at you at a time, learn from that mistake, come back in the next game, and don't do that again. Having 32mm of armor is crucial because 16-inch guns, like on the Amagi, can overmatch up to, 32mm of armor. The only ships that can overmatch more are the Yamato and Shikishima. They can overmatch 32mm of armor, but the chances of coming up against a Yamato or a Shikishima and the Amagi aren't too great, so I bet you 3/4 of the battles you're going to be facing ships that won't be able to overmatch you. So this armor, very, very strong, especially bow in, even giving a little bit of an angle. There isn't a really big cheek here, kind of like the Yamato where it kind of bows out really far. So even angling like this, even like this isn't bad, just because of how flat this side is. Amagi just all around amazing armor scheme, and tops the cake on top of the plating is the Citadel. The Citadel is almost completely below the water. There's going to be impossible to get a Citadel hit, or well, nearly impossible to get a Citadel hit, unless the shell is coming from extreme range and plunging down and hitting this little plate here, or here, or here, you know, just this kind of edge there. But yeah, plunging shells can Citadel you, but from close to medium ranges, there's no way you're going to be getting Citadeled in this ship. Amagi has stupid good protection. It has outstanding firepower, and it is maneuverable enough, it is fast enough to get into positions that will make the enemy question themselves and make mistakes. Just like that last game I showed, I was able to get into positions where they didn't expect me to make the plays I was able to make, and it punished them in the end. Yeah, so I guess that kind of highlights why the Amagi is so good. Now this is where I should end the video, but I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. I noticed that under my stats here, for the Amagi, I have some really crazy damage numbers. Let me just find my Amagi here. Amagi, there it is. I have 125,000 average damage after 14 battles. Granted, that's not a whole lot of battles, but 125,000 average damage in a tier 8 battleships puts me at number 1 in the world currently on the World of Warships stat tracker website. And when I realized that, it's kinda lit a fire under my butt to really want to get onto that top 10 slot in the stat tracker. So I'm going to be playing the absolute bejesus out of the Amagi over the next little bit, trying to get up to 40 battles and trying to get onto the top 10 in World of Warships for the Amagi. And just to kind of prove that to you guys here, I'm going to pull up the stat tracker website. Alright, so here I am on World of Warships stats and numbers. Here is my profile. My overall stats aren't too great just because I haven't really played a whole lot of games, and I didn't really start getting good until maybe 1,400 battles, but in the last 300 battles I have matured as a player. I have grown faster than I have in any other game. So if you look at like my overall stuff compared to my recent stuff, there's a really, really big discrepancy, and that's just because I have grown really fast compared to how good I was when I started. Yeah, so just looking down here, Super Unicum and Battleship in the last couple games, but like a Unicum over the last 3 weeks, which is kind of the more important one, I would guess. So I'm certainly not the best player at this game, but I'm certainly good enough to know what I'm doing. Win rate, you know, entirely team dependent. If you get a bad team, can't really do much there, so yeah. Let me scroll down to my Amagi here. That's what I'm focusing on for this game, right? This video, right? So let's just search by PR just for fun. I saw the Amagi there, but I'm just going to do it this way. So my Amagi here, 3,000 PR rating, 125,000 average damage. If I sort by average damage, Amagi is number 2. And the reason why that is just because I think the Amagi just connects to me more than any other ship has in World of Warships. And when I started playing the Amagi, I am at the point in my career where not my career, but I guess my gaming career, to where I'm the best I've ever been, especially in World of Warships. So I've been able to play well for all these 14 games. I've been able to win the vast majority of them, get good damage numbers, and in return getting a high player rating. Now let me compare my stats to the world average, the world best for the Amagi. Alright, so here we are on the Amagi for stat trackers. If we scroll down, we can find the top rated players in this boat. If we sort by PR, I currently place in second. However, I'm not on the leaderboards because you need 40 battles minimum, and I only have 14. But I am going to really try and push to get to 40 battles as soon as I can, just so I can hopefully be put somewhere in the top 10. If I'm in the top 10, I'll be happy with that. If I fall higher in that or lower in that, you know, I don't really care. As long as I'm in the top 10, I think that I'd be pretty happy with that. But yeah, I'd be in top. I'd be in second currently by PR, and by average damage. Currently, I am. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Oh, there we go. I am first in the world. I have 2,000 more average stamina than the person in first place. I mean, I know my stats are going to fluctuate over my next 30-some battles. I'm sorry, 20-some battles, but I feel if I continue to play consistently in Amagi, as I have been over the last 14 games or so, I think I can really realistically place in the top 5 for damage. Like, I can almost guarantee I'll be in the top 5 for damage in the world once I get to 40 battles played. Sorry about going on that tangent there at the end, but I'm just really excited with this Amagi and how well it's been performing for me. So I kind of felt like I didn't have to show it off, but I felt like I just really wanted to show it off, and so I did there. I didn't mean to flex or anything like that with my stats, but I certainly think that if I continue to play well in the Amagi, I will be on the top 10 leaderboards sometime soon. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about the game, whether that be game mechanics that you might not be 100% certain about, if you guys have questions about ships and stuff like that, I can certainly try to help you guys out, maybe do a video on some stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. This game was certainly one of the better ones I've had in recent days. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one.